Hey everyone, what's up? One of the most talked things I've seen on the internet is about how DreamWorks should revert to being a company owned by Paramount. But I don't like that argument very much. While I do think Paramount was a good distributor for DreamWorks at the time, they honestly had way too many sequels. Not that they were bad, they just didn't rely too much on originality. And to explain why I think Universal Pictures is a better option, I am going to share you a note I put on the Google Keep explaining exactly that. As you can see here, I've made this note. Why Universal Pictures is the gold standard for a DreamWorks Animation distributor. First off, their stories are more emotional and character-driven. They also don't have a very consistent animation style now. Back in the 2000s to 2010s, it seems DreamWorks was trying to establish a house style since a lot of their movies were animated at their own facilities. But now that they're experimenting with Spider-Verse-esque animation that's more hand-drawn looking and relying on more external studios to help animate their films, their styles are not exactly consistent. Also, they balance their stories with nuanced character interactions and scripts alongside the edgy humor that makes fun of traditional storytelling tropes, largely those made by Disney. Additionally, their mix of sequels and original content is relatively stable. Even though they started out making a ton of follow-up films, with the exception of Abominable, they have recently pivoted to finding a good blend. I'm not trying to say sequels are bad, but having a healthy mix is a strong contender for a great studio, although I will admit Pixar relied a lot on sequels in the 2010s. And the reason I'm going to give Pixar a pass for that reliance is because they were trying to tell emotional stories that kept worlds growing. But I think for other studios, that formula doesn't work. Also, they have lower budgets on a lot of their movies, so if a film makes maybe 300 plus million on a budget of like 80 or 70 million, it's automatically deemed a success. Beforehand, that would be practically a non-break even. But now that they've lowered their budget, they've lowered their expectations. Also, they don't have as many films with a rotten score on their site. The only two I've actually seen from Universal's DreamWorks era are Spirit Untamed and The Boss Baby Family Business, which both have 49% each. So the fact that most of their films earn much higher scores symbolizes they really are improving. And they lastly canceled only one movie, called Spooky Jack, which was meant to come out in late 2021 and would have been produced by DreamWorks and Blumhouse. I think it's for the best this movie got canceled. After all, the idea felt way too creepy for DreamWorks' formula, and I honestly would hate to see Blumhouse Productions make an animated movie, let alone an animated movie with a family-friendly studio like DreamWorks. So, in conclusion, Universal is the gold standard for DreamWorks because of their stories, character interactions, visual style, production budgets and box office numbers, better Rotten Tomatoes scores, though I honestly hate Rotten Tomatoes, and the fact that they've only canceled one movie, and it was a movie that honestly didn't really need to be developed in the first place. If you agree with me, tell me in the comments down below, and I will see you next time.